What's going on, everybody? Genesis Jones here with Total G Shockers, and in this video we'll be going through the top 7 watches under $100. So let's get into it. So before we begin, I want to thank the Curiosity Crusher for requesting this video. Thanks so much for the question. I'm excited to get this video out to you. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into the topic. So as you know, the watch on your arm makes such a wonderful fashion statement about who you are and how important your personal style is to you. But as you also know, the price tag on a very nice watch often discourages you from purchasing it because you want your watch to be in season with the most recent fashion trends. Now, if you know how it feels to wince at the price tag of that watch that was love at first sight, and I bet most of you know what I'm talking about, then this list is perfect for you. So here are 7 watches that look luxurious while also making sure that you don't break your bank. Number 7, Fossil Nate Chronograph Stainless Steel. Fossil is known for taking apart the main design elements of retro watches and retrofitting them with a modern sensibility. The Nate chronograph is a stainless steel watch that has a mineral crystal dial window that shields the silver dial, white indices, and hands. It has a big face with large Arabic numerals at the 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 12 o'clock hour markings, which help guide you in telling time at a glance. The chronograph, with a very noticeable 3-eye dial, I call it the 3-eye monster, is a complete knockout and is exactly what is needed to add a sense of character to this military-inspired watch that runs on analog quartz movement. The stationary bezel is made of stainless steel and is designed with crests and ridges for aesthetic purposes. The band is a 3-column or oyster-style link bracelet constructed of stainless steel with a simple fold over clasp enclosure. The water resistance is up to 50 meters on this watch. Now, if it were up to me, I would like to see the water resistance at least up to 100 meters as the starting point. But let's face it, this watch is not intended for intense swimming or water activities. So it would be a bad idea frolicking in the pool or scuba diving with this watch because this watch is aimed primarily for indoor use. Now, the weight of the watch is 113 grams, the width of the watch is 50 millimeters, and the price is $90 in US currency. So whether you're looking for a watch for a party or a business meeting, this Fossil unit has the right mixture of attitude, calm, cool sensibility, and performance accents that make this a go-to accessory. Number 6. Skagen Yarn Steel Mesh. Now, when it comes to the Skagen Yarn Steel Mesh watch, simplicity is key. Let's face it, every person needs a nice classy watch that they can wear every day. So here comes Skagen, with a simplistic design that essentially answers the daily needs of everyone. Being defined in shape with Danish culture and style as its premise, this yarn watch shines with simplicity in every way possible. The Yarn Steel Mesh model is a pretty awesome timepiece. The design, along with many other Skagen designs, indeed provides a reflection of the landscape in order to capture the beauty and clarity in such a straightforward timepiece. And what I like about this model is that they didn't put the word steel on the dial like they have done with some of their other similar steel models. I mean, I suppose most people who are buying this watch would already assume that the watch is made out of steel and they don't need the reminder stamped onto the dial as if they were to forget or something. By not including those words on the dial, the watch continues to stand out as something potentially more than it is. You know, that whole perception is reality type of thinking. Circling around the black face of this simple watch is a standard silver stainless steel case design, which ultimately creates such a sweet, classy image. And being as light as a feather, this watch is the perfect size for anyone, especially for someone who likes to move and shake, since this watch doesn't weigh your arm down or hold you back. A heavy, bulky watch is nice and can always be a great piece to use for small talk, but Skagen is giving you the option of putting on a classy watch without thinking about it for the rest of the day. It's a watch that provides seamless integration not only on your arm, but in your lifestyle as well. This watch also has hour and minute indicators, which isn't too busy, but still errs on the side of simplistic caution, so to speak. The quartz analog model is really all you need for a luxury timepiece in today's world. One thing to take note of is the silver mesh band. Now myself, I'm more into the leather, stainless steel band types when it comes to classy looking timepieces. And that's because that's what we're used to associating with when it comes to the band of such a watch. But see, Skagen, they participated in the metal mesh trend, which is a trend that was incorporated in so many watches and fashion jewelry accessories. I mean, in one sense, the metal mesh band could come off looking cheap. But here, I feel that the mesh strap feels like it was made of high quality and with some bold intention, especially when it comes to the low price. And while it's tempting to critique the material of the watch band, keep in mind that after all, they probably used the band material in order to make it more affordable, yet still a classy looking timepiece for you to have. So whether you love it or hate it, either way, you've got to admit, Skagen pulls the detail off rather well. Now the weight of the watch is 95 grams, the diameter of the watch is 41 millimeters, and the price is $88 in US currency. From my opinion, this is a great model. From a brand that for over the years has done extremely well in the watch world, Skagen proves to the watch world that affordable watches need not be boring and very cookie cutter-like. At the same time, it doesn't need to be super busy and overwhelming. This design perspective works for us, who are the younger generation of watch aficionados, and works for people who want everything right now and for the lowest price possible. Overall, this is a great intro piece for guys who are just starting to find their style, taste, and footing in the watch world. Number 5. G-Shock GA100BT-1A. Now the G-Shock GA collection is one of the best-selling Anna Digi watches on the market today. This watch, which is rugged and has a tank-like build to it, offers you a lot of useful elements like superb durability, high accuracy, and a classy modern feel and look. When it comes to the GA100 series, toughness, reliability, and easy usability are words to describe this collection. Now, black is always the coolest and most appropriate color, especially when it comes to coordinating with your outfit. The matte black and leather body adds much to the watch's sturdy look, making it appropriate with users of any age and for almost any occasion. Now, this is not a small watch by any means. Although a big face, the black leather textured GA100 is not too heavy and is actually very comfortable to wear all day long. And the number one thing that attracts users to the G-Shock watch brand is their unparalleled toughness. The mineral glass is used to protect the watch face and is then covered with a prominent urethane bezel and resin band so that it can absorb those external forces. The casing pairing makes this G-Shock an extremely tough watch that can surely survive those moments that require absolute toughness. Some of the functions on this watch include the analog and digital displays, the 12/24-hour format, world time up to 29 time zones, the LED, the 1/1000 stopwatch function, the countdown timer, the 200-meter water resistance, and the shock and magnetic resistance. Now, I'm not a fan of the highly reflective glass on the dial because it has a negative display. This means that the digital display can only be clearly seen when the watch is upright and at certain angles with regards to the light. The reflective crystal reduces the legibility of the digital display, especially when used outdoors. Now, the weight of the watch is 72 grams, the diameter of the watch is 51.2 millimeters, and the price is $99 in US currency. Embodying the classic G-Shock toughness, this leather texture design incorporates the rugged elements of this model, giving it a cool, bold look. With G-Shock, you don't have to worry about it being too dressy or too casual. Number 4, Invicta Pro Diver Men's Watch. Now, the Invicta Pro Diver collection of watches are among the best-selling men's dive watches, and mainly because of its affordability. These models are solid dive watches with a dressy look, making them great either underwater with this 200-meter water resistance or at that fancy soiree you have coming up in a couple of weeks. A classy, elegant timepiece, the Pro Diver's appearance has solid finishing, clinging to your wrist with an amazing feel. The case is brushed and polished. The screw-down crown for date and time adjustment occupies the 3 o'clock position, and the Invicta signature is engraved on the top side of the crown, making these design elements look more expensive than what it is. The dial and bezel frame contrast very well within the trinite coated luminous hands and hour markers, making for easy and clear legibility. Now, this timepiece reminds me so much of the Rolex Submariner, with about 85% of its design elements looking very reminiscent of this Rolex collection design. But what I like about the Invicta Pro Diver collection is that if they are mimicking the design of the Rolex Submariner, now I'm not saying that they are copying, but if they have designed this watch as sort of a replica to the Rolex Submariner, then job well done on that respectable copy, as compared with some of these lower quality wannabe replica watches out there. So I'm all for it. The anti-reflective mineral glass is very clear, especially when trying to read it while out in the bright sun. This anti-reflective coating also reduces the watch's gleaming look as well though. And when it comes to the paint, Invicta chose to have a painted metal for their bezel instead of using ceramic like Rolex. Now, as you know, the ceramic material that Rolex uses is scratch resistant, but is easy to crack due to its brittleness. But the painted metal bezel is not as brittle, but will accumulate minor scratches over time. Now, as a dive watch model, the Pro Diver does get a lot of complaints about the stiff bezel, making it hard for you to rotate the unidirectional bezel easily. Now, I can see their point, right? Nobody wants to have to struggle with their watch, especially at times that they need the features the most. So having a stiff bezel isn't cool, but I guess the way to get around this is just to rotate the bezel a few times, like to warm it up so it doesn't get stuck as much. The diameter of the watch is 40 millimeters, and the price starts at $77.99 in US currency. The Invicta Pro Diver watch is a high-quality dive watch with a solid case design and reliable Japanese auto movement, making it an elegant-looking and classy styling timepiece that resembles that of the Rolex Submariner. And you don't have to be a professional diver to justify getting this watch. So if you really want this watch, just get it. It's designed for daily use as well as for diving purposes. Now, before we jump into our top 3 watches on this list, we want to get into the honorable mention. So for our honorable mention, we have the Komono Winston watch. Now, this is a great timepiece to rock with a suit or with sneakers if you choose. The Komono Winston is a great watch that is sure to get you noticed due to the tons of compliments you'll receive from so many people. It's an extremely simple watch that gives off kind of a vintage look. Now, the Winston Mirror series has a reflective face that integrates into the classic Winston style, which is pretty cool. Now, according to Komono's description, this mirror-like design is a style used as a reminder to pause and reflect on your journey, which is pretty deep in a meditative sort of way. With Komono placed at the 4 o'clock position of the watch, Japanese quartz movement, stainless steel back, and glossy metal case, this watch is definitely a knockout in terms of minimalist design. Now, this watch comes with leather straps. For this particular watch, I'm not a fan of the leather straps. I honestly would rather see this in a high quality metal mesh band. The leather band after a few months may give out, and I'm all about overall durability. Now, the weight of the watch is 180 grams, the diameter of the watch is 41 millimeters, and the price is $99.95 in US currency. In the end, the Komono Winston mirror looks amazing in pictures and even better on your wrists. The design is something to take in. It has a modern, simple, and clean look. Alright, now let's get to the top 3 luxury watches under $100. Number 3, Timex Waterbury Classic Watch. Now, the Waterbury collection does an exceptional job of balancing retro and current trend styling elements in their watches. I think it's one of the best looking Timex collections to date, but that's just my personal opinion. I really love the large face as a design component for this model. It doesn't look unimpressionable, but it doesn't look overwhelming either. The quality of the construction of the Waterbury is bar none. The stainless steel case with a brushed, polished look, mineral glass crystal, Arabic dial markings, and quartz analog movement, just to name a few, help give this watch a distinctive look that is in sync with the true craftsmanship and authentic watchmaking that it has been founded on. I also like the fact that they don't overdo the markings too much. In some other Waterbury models, they can have overbearing markings that have the Indiglow night light feature. This watch, although it has Indiglow, has noticeable markings but not too busy looking, which could take away from the overall sophistication of the timepiece. The diameter of the watch is 40 millimeters and the price is $99 in US currency. Overall, if you're looking for an everyday watch that is suitable for casual and some dress occasions, then this collection is the ideal companion. With the Waterbury, it's not too casual, not too dressy, and the simplistic design and feel of the watch is out of this world. Number 2, Casio Edifice watch. When it comes to the Casio Edifice watch, comfort, style, and intelligence band together to give you this timepiece. A screwed down sign crown and a case made from polished stainless steel, the flat mineral crystal lace flush with the bezel that is fixed but does have an internal rotating bezel accompanied by the slide rule scale. Now, this slide rule is basically a scale that's based on logarithms. Use it to do basic division, multiplication, time over distance calculations, which for my fellow nerds are speed calculations, and even currency conversions, which is all pretty cool. Now, the internal bezel is rotated by using the knob at the 8 o'clock position, and the turning is rather smooth and easy. But on the other hand, the turning action of the knob can seem too easy. So if you're a stickler about having the slide rule scale lined up perfectly, then this watch may drive you crazy in that regard. Now, the black dial is quite busy, as you can already see. There are 3 subdials on the face of the watch. The top subdial is the minute marker for the chronograph. The 9 o'clock subdial is the hour indicator for the chronograph. And the subdial at the 6 o'clock position has a double function, acting as a normal seconds counter, and then the 1/20th of a second indicator once the large red second hand, which is part of the chronograph, is engaged. And we have a stainless steel bracelet with brushed and polished surfaces, hollow end links, and a push pin design enclosed in a folding clasp for extra safety and security. Now, if you want, with the look of the watch, I would prefer a black leather strap to bring out the face and the dials, and even markers on the watch. Now, the lume on the watch hands isn't that bad and is readable for a few hours after it's had good exposure to light. Now, the lume on the hour markers doesn't last as long and is a bit weak. Also, just to note, the hands on the subdials are not included in the grand lume experience. Now, the weight of the watch is 150 grams. The diameter of the watch is 42 millimeters, and the price is $94 in US currency. So the Casio Edifice is a great watch that features a slide rule bezel, 12-hour chronograph, and screw-down crown with water resistance of 100 meters. The watch looks exceptional, especially when you decide to swap the stainless steel band with a black leather strap. Classy, stylish, and technical, all wrapped up in one awesome looking timepiece. And number 1, MVMT Black Watch. Now, MVMT Watches is an incredible company founded by 2 young entrepreneurs looking to disrupt the watch world with this one intention: to get rid of the high markups of luxury watches and also be able to bring beautiful watches to the public, all at an affordable price. Now, the first thing that stood out to me about this MVMT Black Leather watch is the weight and feel of the watch. This watch doesn't feel like you're carrying a huge clock on your wrist, And even though heavier watches tend to indicate better internal piece quality and all that jazz, MVMT defies that preconceived notion with this watch as well. Now this MVMT black leather fits comfortably on your wrist, even with the larger face. The watch function buttons don't dig into your wrists, which if you've ever had a watch that did that, you can understand and further appreciate that MVMT is able to keep our comfortability in mind when designing. And speaking of the design, the black leather has a minimalist look to it in a way that works phenomenally. The black dial features black hour markers and hands with a noticeable red seconds hand. The date is displayed at the 3 o'clock position, and the movement is battery-powered 3-hand Miyota quartz. The solid construction of the black leather goes a long way in the durability of the watch itself. Now the glass on the watch is made of hardened mineral crystal, so this material is durable for many, including for those incredibly clumsy people who tend to bank up timepieces. Also, a great feature I like about the MVMT watches is the fact that you can have interchangeable bands. The diameter of the watch is 45 millimeters, and the price is $95 in US currency. In the end, this MVMT black leather is an awesome timepiece. With this particular brand, know that you don't have to wear a watch that looks too busy or is uncomfortable while on your wrist. Now, I'm sure you're able to find a style of MVMT that speaks to you simply because the company provides such a wide range of styles available to you. Alright everyone, that's all for today. Those are the top watches that lead with class and are all under $100. Now if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, if you didn't like this video, give it a thumbs down. All I really care about is making sure I provide you with the valuable content that will help you out, so your feedback is greatly appreciated. Also, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're dropping content every single day, so I want to make sure you get notified when our new video drops. That's all for now. I'll talk to you soon. And as always, continue to rock your G-Shock nonstop. Deuces!